Hi, my name is Lieutenant General Ted Martin. I'm the Deputy Commanding General of Training and Doctrine Command, and this is a message for the soldiers and the families out there in TRADOC land and any place else that wants to hear it. What I want to do is give you a quick situational update using terms that you're familiar with, so maybe you will be able to better understand what's happening, what we're doing about it, and most importantly, the why behind the messaging that the Army is sending. First off, our battle plan to defeat COVID-19 is based on lessons learned by United States forces in Korea, led by General Abrams and his team, and U.S. forces in Europe, led by General Kaboli and his team. Now, they are about 30 to 45 days in front of us. We've been studying intently every single thing that they did. And first off, I have to salute U.S. Forces Korea for the outstanding job they have done. Phenomenal. It will be written about in history books when the dust settles in all of this. But so the fight that we are currently fighting started at least 45 days ago and plowed through U.S. Forces Korea, and it slammed into U.S. Forces Europe. We took lessons learned from both of these, and we're applying them here stateside. But here's the most important thing you have to understand: the geometry of this particular battlefield. Now, COVID-19 is a ruthless, invisible enemy that we still do not know how to defeat. It will take a long time. Although scientists are working on it, they're working on a vaccination. That will take time. We do not have that weapon system. Think of a vaccination as body armor. So right now, we're fighting without body armor. Now, what's happening? So when COVID-19 hits, it starts to overwhelm the hospital system. We have first-class, first-rate hospital systems and the best doctors, nurses, and support staff on the planet. However, the limiting factor are intensive care units. Think of an intensive care unit as a single room that handles a special casualty that needs special care. That's probably not technically correct, but for the purposes of this discussion, it's good enough. We have a limited number of intensive care units. We recognize by what happened in Korea, in Europe, and now it's starting to happen in the United States, most notably in New York, Washington, and now into California, is that the hospitals are rapidly filling, and then they are rapidly filling the most critical cases into intensive care units, special bed units. You've probably heard about the ventilators that we need. I'm not a ventilator expert, but I know we need an ICU, a ventilator. Most importantly, we need doctors and nurses that are healthy and can care for those people. So while these ICUs are filling up, the decision was made to commit the United States Corps of Engineers under the leadership of Lieutenant General Semonite. Awesome officer, close personal friend of mine. And what he's doing is he's mobilizing the Corps of Engineers, working with the states, to identify buildings that can be repurposed into makeshift hospitals with large numbers of intensive care unit capable units. From what I saw, and there will be a link to one of his briefings that he gave, they can take a dormitory room or they can take a small room in a hotel, and they can give it negative pressure with a little bit of engineering work, and then it gets FEMA and Health and Human Services will give them the equipment they need so that we can establish a large-scale number of intensive care units. Very important. That work is ongoing. I have a great confidence that we are moving as fast as we can to build those intensive care units. Now, what's our role in this? First off, we have to maintain battle readiness. The world is not stopping. There are bad actors out there, and they are still maneuvering against us, just like they do every single day. So we must protect the force. But now protecting the force is doubly important, because think about this. The doctors and nurses are becoming overwhelmed in our hospitals. ICU units are filling as we speak. We have committed 2 hospital ships, one to New York and one to the West Coast. They're not to handle the COVID-19 cases. They're to help offload the hospitals from the day-to-day things they had normally been doing to free up doctors and nurses to handle COVID-19 cases and then the extreme respiratory cases that get pushed into ICUs. Okay, back to our mission. So, this is us. This is our engagement area. Our engagement area is where we work and train every single day. The most important thing we can do is stay healthy. We must continue the mission. If you have been designated mission essential, or the task that you are conducting is considered mission essential at this point in time, then you will continue your work, but you will be doing it on a COVID-19 battlefield. What does that mean? A COVID-19 battlefield means you must be screened every single day. The first screening is the one you will do when you look in the mirror every morning. Are you sick? Do you feel bad? Do you have a cough? Do you have diarrhea? Do your muscles ache? If that is the case, you will not move to work. You need to notify your chain of command, then you'll seek medical care, probably by telephone, where you'll be further evaluated. And then if you need medical care, your chain of command will ensure that you get medical care. And the same thing is true for your families. Okay, so we check ourselves first. Then when we move to work, we enter our headquarters building, we enter the command post. The first thing you should be doing is you should be screened, probably by a non-commissioned officer. They will ask you the same questions. They will take your temperature. You will clean your hands, and then you enter the bubble. We want to establish a bubble about our workspaces. The purpose of the bubble is it's a self-contained, safe environment where we can continue operations. Now, we can't get sloppy. Inside there, we have to continually clean our workspaces. We have to clean doorknobs and door handles. We need to do the things we need to do to protect ourselves so we do not become casualties. Okay, so it's easy if you're in a command post. What if you're in basic training? What if you're in advanced individual training? I'll give you an example. We are conducting an advanced individual training for aviation mechanics here at Fort Eustis, Virginia. They go through the same screening every morning. A drill sergeant looks them in the eye. We do not get in a formation shoulder to shoulder like we've been doing for 244 years. We're double arm extended order, keeping a space around each of us. And those non-commissioned officers are going around and they're looking the soldiers in the eye. They're making those checks, and then they're taking the temperature. Once they've done that, they will march in an open order to class. Before they enter the bubble of the training environment, they will be screened once again. We will ensure that they are clean by sanitizing their hands. And then whatever they're doing, for example, 2 days ago, I observed Black Hawk helicopter mechanics working in a helicopter. We went to 2 soldiers in a helicopter instead of 4. So it's 2 soldiers separated with an instructor. And before they handled any of the instruments or controls inside the helicopter, they sprayed down and sanitized those controls. So they did their training. They did it to standard. It took a little bit longer. It was a little bit more one-on-one. And guess what we found out? We found out that it may take more than 15 weeks to create a particular MOS. We need to be agile and adaptive in the way we do our training. So if it takes 30 weeks, it takes 30 weeks. We will not compromise on force protection. We will continue the mission. So back out to here. This is what you need to do for your Army. You need to stay safe. You need to stay healthy. You need to give the doctors the time and space they need for these engineers to get in and build the new fighting positions in this war. And those fighting positions are intensive care units. I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there. It's taken a while for the information to flow down, but we're trying to be as agile and adaptive as we can. We're trying to flatten communications. My recommendation is that if you are not already on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook with your small unit, let's start with the squad, communicate every single day with one another. If you're a battalion commander or a command sergeant major, you should be putting information out that will help the soldiers and their families to understand what we are doing, why we are doing it, and how long we will have to do it. This is not a one and done. This will not be done in a month or 2. We're going to have to change the way we train forever. This is a mission we can do. Remember, the soldiers on the front line, right there in the hospitals. Say a prayer for them tonight. Those doctors and those nurses, they're kitting up every single day, and they're still fighting an enemy that we don't fully understand. You can be sure that your Army is reevaluating on a daily basis our approach to this fight. We will succeed. We will win.